If you want to paint landscapes, you need to be able to mix different kind of greens, because green can have a lot of undertone. It can be more yellow, more khaki, it can be cool or warm, and it can even go to the brown, the burgundy, the yellow ochre. You can really make a lot of different hues in green. And if you want to differentiate the fields, the hills, the grass, the plants, whatever it is, you need to have different greens. And also you need to understand the warm and the cool greens. And it can be very light, can be very dark, can be warm. Obviously this is a sunset. It can be showing the light, so you have warm greens on top of dark greens. Well, I need to talk a bit about the color theory, but just a bit, don't worry. You have the cool and the warm primaries. So this is lemon yellow, this is cobalt blue, and this is magenta. These are the cool primaries. And basically, these are the primaries, because you cannot make the 3-1 from any other color. And these are the warm primaries with a warm yellow, an ultramarine blue, and a red. And it could also be called secondary primaries, but it doesn't make sense, so we call them warm primaries, but you can get those from this one. This one is just yellow with a tiny bit of magenta. This one is cobalt blue with a tiny bit of magenta, and this one is magenta with a tiny bit of yellow. And you already see the kind of greens you can get. They are very different here and there. And what's interesting is when you mix warm and cool together. So let's make some samples. Let's make a first mix with primary lemon yellow. And always make your mix with the dark inside the light, always, so you can control the amount of it. So this is lemon yellow and this is cyan, primary cyan. Look at that. Oh, this green is bright and vivid, and the more cyan you add inside, the more you are going to a turquoise color until you get to the full blue. And I don't want to make hundreds and hundreds of samples. This is not my goal today. So this blue is really powerful. And now let's use the same yellow but ultramarine blue. So ultramarine blue is a warm blue, and I'm using a cool yellow. Get this. Add a tiny bit of blue inside, and look at that. The green is very different. It's more muted. That's something you can understand easily because the blue has already some red in it. So this is toning down the green. And actually this one is this one. If I add a tiny bit of magenta in it, really a tiny bit, I will get the same color than here. I hope so. So tiny, 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 just a little bit. Yeah. You see, this is almost the same. And if I go very far, I can go this way. It's almost the same than that. For the warm yellow, I want to use yellow ochre. This one is having a bit of separation between the binder and the paint. It's a brand new tube. Sometimes those things happen. All right, so let's take this part, add a tiny bit of blue, cyan blue. Ooh, makes a dirty khaki. And I think that using the yellow ochre, you will get more convincing greens, more realistic greens with ultramarine blue. It's not that different, you see. It's a bit warmer. Yeah, it's a bit more toned down. And I haven't had any white so far. What if I tone this down with red, with magenta? I will get a darker, more purplish green, something that would be good for shadows, and that is close to this actually. And surprisingly, you can also make green with black. So this is primary black. I don't know what it means. It means it's not a fancy black, it's just a regular one. And I will take some yellow and add a tiny bit of black in it. And look at that, I have a perfect khaki. This one is yellow plus black. More black, the darker it will be, and you will lose completely the yellow side of it. It will get very, very strong actually, but still it's not black, and this would make a perfect dark shadow. And sometimes you have trouble seeing a color, so if you add white in it, you will see really what it is. Nice color from this one. Also, I can add white in this one. Those neutral colors are really important when you are painting landscapes. If you look at this one, for example, this is a kind of color you can get here. This is this. Here, this is this. It's important that you have muted colors, not all bright, not all warm. And here I've gone to the blue side of it, and I think I lack some colors here that would come from the ultramarine blue and some lemon yellow. Look at that, more blue. So you can really go a long way with very few colors. Now let's test this on actual leaves. I mean, look at the difference between this one, which is a dark, cool green, and this one, which is a warm spring green. You cannot have them mixed the same way. That's impossible. And you have this one, which is a bit more whitish, still a bit warm. This one is different from this one. It's not the same green. I'm using my trusty dirty palette because actual greens are not plain color. You need to mix with some things. So this one, I think I can try with a bit of cobalt blue and a mix of yellow. And look at that. Yeah, it's a bit too light, so let's add more blue to the mix. Now it's too dark, so let's grab some lemon yellow. Yeah, this is better, but it's still not exactly what I wanted. Maybe a tiny bit of white. Yeah, a bit more blue. A hint of orange. Just want to tone it down. I think it's too bright. More blue. So if you want to get an accurate color, you have to make tests. And I think this one here is not bad. Could be maybe a bit brighter. So more yellow. Yes, I think this is the one. I will make a shape roughly, and some parts are lighter, and to lighten this green I will use yellow, lemon yellow, and not white. Okay, white will weaken my color. Let's get another green, something that is way stronger. So for this one I will go with a base of ultramarine blue. See, it's getting better. I'm mixing with a bit of tallow here. A bit too green, too blue, sorry. Let's add some yellow in there. Looks too bright, too vivid, so maybe a bit of red. Yeah, more red. And I think some yellow ochre. It's lightening it a bit too much, so I will add more blue to my mix. Yeah, and this one is better. So this is rough. I don't want to do botanical painting. What about this one, which is almost this one, but lighter. So I will lighten that with yellow. Too light. Yeah, something like that. A bit ochre in there, because I feel it's a bit toned down. Yes. So yellow ochre inside will help. And more yellow. For greens, you will need a lot of lemon yellow. A base with maybe some turquoise, a lot of white, because it's really toned down, and a bit more blue in there. Ooh, I need to take a lot of white and maybe tone it down with yellow ochre. Something a bit darker. So this is why you don't want to clean your palette. It's just because you will be happy to find some colors. Let's get this one. It's a bit stronger than that, and I think it requires me to add red in this mix. Yeah, so it's actually a color that is not exactly a green, I would say. So you have purplish undertone. So while I was in my sketchbook, I wanted to finish this double page, so I painted a ton of different leaves, but at the end I'm not really happy with it because they are all the same greens. When you are painting a landscape, you need to have more variety. For example, here I have more spring greens, so to speak, with a lot more yellow and some bluish tones, so you have a really good variety. In this cute little landscape, I'm very happy with it. This is something I painted for the postcard swap that we have in my membership. In March, we were painting gouache landscapes, and we organized a postcard swap between members of the membership. So this one is for someone. I don't want to tell you who it is because she hasn't received it yet.